Oxford Dictionary defines endurance as the fact or power of lasting through an unpleasant or difficult process or situation without giving way. This is my endurance project where I test my physical stamina over the course of a cumulative 12 hours. My goal was to complete as many yard work tasks that required physical labor as possible without taking any breaks before I was finished with said task. Here was the beginning of my endurance journey. This was Sunday the 24th of April, and this hour and a half was primarily focused on cutting down the small trees and bushes and getting the area cleaned up and ready to be turned over.
That worked.
Here in this time lapse, you can see that I was really working on getting the roots and nubs of the first small tree out. I was using a hatchet or an axe for two reasons. The first was because the other tools seemed to be too small and impractical for what I was trying to do. In the first clip, I cut the main part of the tree, and here I'm getting at disassembling the root by hacking away at it over and over again. The second reason was just because it was fun and exaggerated. I would later realize, though, that this was not the best move at all, as it drained a lot of my energy. Going into this, I thought these tasks would be easy and not draining at all, but once I got into it, my energy was being drained, which led to the prolonging of the task completions. Here, I was doing essentially the same thing as before. I was working my way to the roots of this tree to pull it out as one clean branch. This took a lot longer than the other one because the root was running along a mound of dirt, which I just hacked right through. Again, fun, but not so effective for energy retention. Chopping away at this tree with the axe with all the other tools lying around kind of reminded me of this project for design and engineering a while back. We had to design a tool that was better than tools you could buy in stores, more efficient. I wonder if I can make my own tool combining an axe and maybe a weed whacker. Anyways.
Tonight is my show. If you okay, you might help in my show. Got partners right under my nose. Max, I got all the dough. Max, I got all the dough. Changing my stock cause I got every flow. Got every girl, ain't no top in my home.
After the first day, it was time for the second. Monday the 25th task really only consisted of turning over flower beds. Again, a task that seemed like it would take no more than 30 minutes but was draining of my stamina. This is just a clip showing what I was turning over, essentially just going in the dirt and flipping the moist soil from underneath the top dry soil to make it easier to plant and put more dirt down as needed. After working on the soil around that tree, I started working on the large strip of dirt that you saw in the clip before. This soil was pretty easy to turn over because the wood chips on top of the top layer of soil were the only thing that was dry. This made it easier to just break off the top layer and turn over the entire flower bed. And now, day 3. Wednesday, April 27th was probably the easiest of all the tasks I was assigned to complete, but it was still difficult because this was the coldest day that I was working, thus contributing to the large amount of time it took to complete the task. Essentially, all I had to do was empty out some torpedo pots that were in the garage and replace the old soil with new soil that was in the driveway in bags. Here I was definitely wondering if I was going about the task the best way. I thought, is this the most efficient way to do this?
Like an ornament. Money so long like a cardigan. You lied to me, wasn't sorry then. On the weekend you was partying. It was your me, it was targeting. It was your me, it was targeting. Jump in the Porsche, on my target. Jump in the lab, I ain't pocketing. Ice is so cold, I snowboarding it.
The last 2 days were pretty much the same as before. Friday the 29th and Sunday the 1st both comprised of turning over more flower beds in the backyard, moving the torpedo pots to the garden area, and spreading soil in one of the finished flower beds. Here I was distributing the soil in the flower bed evenly after emptying it from the bags in the driveway. This really didn't take long and was probably the most fun I had with this entire project. Next I moved on to turning over some flower beds in the backyard, then moving the torpedo pots. To be honest, I hated this project. It's a good premise and it would be a lot more enjoyable for me if I chose a different thing to do than yard work. But I stuck true to my goal and helped in preparing the yard for the summer. You know the drill at this point, so listen to music and watch me work.
20 more minutes into him on. 20 more minutes into him on. 20 more minutes into him on. Yeah, I am not slow. Niggas, you want me cause I got the dope. Best I can ride on my friend, give it go. He passed me Humphrey, so they switching roles.